Hello, cupcakes. How are we doing today? Let me know in the chat how this Monday is going for you. Today, we have a very special stream. It's our Bunny University class part 2, and I am here with your lovely professor, Rat Benatar. How are you doing today, Rat?
I am doing wonderful on this Honey Monday. How about yourself, Stacey's?
I am so good. You know those Honey Mondays with Miss Wynn, they always just get me pepped right up for the start of the week. They get me motivated. I love it.
Yeah, it's really good to have somebody that will always have 15 times as much energy as you do to help get you going. And she's really good at that. She's really good at just her excitement gets me excited about things
That's
because I need that little kick.
that's exactly how I feel. She's so positive and happy. Oh, I just love her so much. So today, this is our second Bunny University class. The first one we did, you can find it on YouTube, on my YouTube if you missed it. But that was how to create your own contract, your own minting website with no devs, with no coding. So that was super fun. And today is actually a little bit of a more advanced class. We're going to be teaching you how to create your own version of the Hoop Scouts. And if you don't know what the Hoop Scouts is, the Hoop Scouts is our community owned derivative collection. So, how it works is there's a website that you can go to, and you can actually, if you have a honey in your wallet, you can mint a NFT to a shared collection. And so right now there's over 200 NFTs in that collection. They're all different derivatives of honeys created by different artists. So it's essentially a shared collection where independent artists can mint things together based on different criteria. If they have certain things in their wallet or if they're allow listed, you can kind of set that criteria from what I understand. But we're going to be teaching you how to create that and basically utilize it for your own use cases. It doesn't have to be derivatives. It can be any sort of a communal collection where multiple people can mint. Did you want to talk any more about what we're going to be doing today, Rat?
Uh, yeah, so I have a like an opening slide deck kind of thing that I'm going to go through, and uh, that'll kind of just walk us through everything about what the stream's going to be about, what kind of resources are available, and so all that stuff will be covered.
Awesome. Well,
And yeah, so any quick questions before we begin? Otherwise, I think I'm going to jump into this slide deck and we'll get going in just a second. And if you see a link down at the bottom of the screen, I will also be talking about that in just a moment.
Rat, did you like the format of last time where we had questions flowing through the whole thing, or do you want us to save those for the end? What's your preference there?
Yeah, actually, if questions do come up, if you can keep an eye out for that, feel free to just interrupt me at literally any point. Um, like you said earlier, it's a little bit more. In some ways, it's a little bit more technical. In other ways, I do think that this will be a shorter class than last time. So at any point, if questions do come up, just yell at me.
Great, I'm good at that. I can do that.
Also, I'm like kind of getting over being sick, so we'll see how much I can actually talk without sounding like a robot or like I'm dying. I will do my best. But if I need to pause for any minute, that's why. It's not. I'm not abandoning anybody. I just desperately need a drink of water or something.
Thanks for giving
Um,
us a heads up.
yeah, you know, gotta gotta do that. And I feel like I'm just stalling for time now. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to go and get started. And welcome to class, everybody. So today, as Stacy's mentioned, and as advertised, we're going to be walking through how to create your own version of Honey's Hoop Scouts. So first, if you are totally unfamiliar, I'm just going to go just over a couple things, like Stacy's was just talking about what Hoop Scouts is, why it can be a really cool thing for your community, and what it's done specifically so far for the Honeys community. I'm going to talk about the technology that's actually powering that type of collection, which is something called signature-based minting. We'll be talking a little bit about that. We'll talk about the different tools that you need in order to get this done. And then I'm going to show a live demo and we'll take some Q&A. By the end of this class, the main takeaways that I'm hoping that you have from here are you're going to understand not just what Hoop Scouts is, but really how it was built, how to allow your existing community members to come to a given website, mint their own tokens into a shared collection, and also just to know a little bit more about signature-based minting in general and the opportunities it presents. So, even if you are here, you don't understand what Hoop Scouts is, or if you are not interested in maybe doing that specific thing for yourself, I will be going over a couple of demos for what signature-based minting allows for that I really think you are going to enjoy, because some of these might just totally shift the way that you think about what an NFT collection can be. So even if you don't specifically create your own version of Hoop Scouts for your community, I really think that you're going to see something here that will at least inspire you to maybe take on a new project or look further into the services that we're using to power these. What this class is not going to be is a step-by-step, in-depth coding demo. This is the kind of thing where you could spend hours and weeks and months coding and perfecting everything. I'm not here to just do a live stream coding demo. I'm going to show just a couple minimal things that you need in order to make the project work, but this isn't just going to be like a coding demonstration. This is also not going to be your personal guide on how to get set up with a local development environment. Kind of the starting point that we're taking with this class does make a couple assumptions that you have X, Y, and Z already set up on your computer. I'm not necessarily going over those in great detail, and so instead we have a resources document that will be made available immediately after the class, and I'm always here for one-on-one questions as they come up afterwards. This is also finally not going to be a source of like best practices around development or coding. As far as my developer and coding experience goes, I know enough to be, as dangerous as they say. I don't consider myself a full-on web developer. I just have enough experience that I can kind of make my way around and make these different things work. So I will always do my best to answer your development questions. But if there is something that comes up that you have a question on, just be prepared that I may have to defer to somebody else. What this class will be instead is an abbreviated demo to show you how to go from a starter kit to your own project. And as I said, an exploration with multiple examples into what things are possible with signature-based minting, with Hoop Scouts just being one example of what is possible. Finally, at the end of this class, if you are interested in pursuing any idea that you have here, but you don't necessarily have the time or the resources to devote to the actual development, you are always welcome to reach out to myself, and we can discuss, if there's some kind of an arrangement where you'd like to hire me for short-term development work to just get your project off the ground. I'm more than happy to talk about that kind of thing. Just reach out to us in Honey's Discord or at Honey's NFT on Twitter, and we can talk about that afterwards. So I'm going to take a quick moment just to pause, see if there's any questions, but also just let you know that we are using POAPs if you are interested in claiming one. So that way you can kind of digitally verify that you are here attending this class live. If you would like to claim a POAP, you can do so at any time during the live stream of this class. After the class, you will no longer be able to claim POAPs. But in order to claim one, all you have to do is visit that link, bit.ly/BunnyU-POAP2. You're going to see, I'll just actually visit it now real quick. bit.ly BunnyU-POAP2. And the way that it's going to work is you can come in here, grab any one of these different links here. They are all just going to go to the same POAP. You can connect your wallet, just verify the fact that you are here, and that's how you do it. If you visit a link and it's already been claimed, that's fine. Just grab a different one. There are 50 spots available for you. Stacy's, do we have any questions in the chat before we actually get started?
Let's take a look. Sunny Days is saying pumped. I'm pumped too, Sunny. It doesn't look like we have any questions. So I think we are good to get started.
Great. So I'm not going to review this super in depth, but I just want to show you, an example of what Hoop Scouts does to actually use signature-based minting, and just give you a refresher on what Hoop Scouts is in general. So this is our community-owned companion brand, Two Honeys. And if you were to visit the Hoop Scouts website at hoop.honeysnft.com, this is what you're going to see. It is a community-owned companion brand, so Honeys members can create, sell, grow, and earn. It's a unique NFT collection where it's not just one person or centralized team creating the NFTs and running the project, but rather an entire community. Honeys can visit that website at any time to mint their artwork with a name and description and get it into the collection. They can then sell that NFT, gift it, hodl, or make it their verified PFP. The way it works is if you were to visit the website and you're not currently connected to the site with your wallet, we do have a prompt here asking you to connect your wallet. And it says, in order to be eligible to mint, you will need to be holding at least one Honeys 10K NFT token. If there are no tokens in your wallet, it will tell you that it looks like there's currently no Honeys held by the connected wallet, and once again prompt you to grab one before you can go ahead and mint. Otherwise, if your wallet does hold one, the interface changes and you are able to mint into the collection. Hoop Scouts has done amazing things for the Honeys community, and this is just really why I think anybody that is interested in some sort of a companion collection or a community-owned collection should really take a look at this and think about introducing it or just pitching the idea to their community, seeing what they think. It's been just over 2 months since launch, and the Hoop Scouts collection has seen over 40 sales, over 2 ETH in total trade volume, an average sale price of 0.05 ETH, over 225 unique pieces created, and it's turned into a full-on community holding town halls, Twitter spaces, giveaways, auctions, and we've had so many people tell us that it was their very first ever minted NFT, which we always love to hear. Hoop Scouts is made possible due to something called signature-based minting. So signature-based minting, or on-demand minting, allows you as the admin to generate signatures that allow other users to mint tokens on your smart contract. In layman's terms, that's kind of the process that Stacy's described, which is, rather than us only having the authority to mint, we're basically, as the admins, saying, hey, does this person attempting to mint onto our collection actually meet all the requirements that we have in place? If so, they, at that time, receive permission in order to mint onto the contract. This also allows you to check any on-chain or off-chain conditions before allowing a user to mint a token from or into your smart contract. So let's take a look at some examples of what signature-based minting is, and then we will actually get into our demo. So one example is this really cool Twitter thread from a member of the Third Web team. And this right away should just, I like to start with this example because this will give you a really quick insight into just how different signature-based minting is from, say, your standard NFT drop. Let's just take a quick look at this Twitter thread explaining how you can mint your top Spotify song as an NFT. Jared from Third Web created an app that lets you log in with Spotify and mint your most listened to song of all time as an NFT. We're not going to be going step by step through how Jared did it per se, but just showing you that this thread is available in case you are interested in checking it out. And it's really only a couple tweets long. It's not a very difficult task to accomplish. Third Web is a great team that probably their biggest goal as a project is to take seemingly very complex tasks and make them super simple for the end user to be able to play around with. Third Web is what we used primarily in our first Bunny U class, and we'll be using it again heavily during this class. So you will have access to this Twitter thread as soon as the class is over. But I just thought that was like super wild. Like it's like you don't typically think of off-chain data as being able to have an influence on the actual like minting experience. For most people, I feel like you're really just, it's whatever's going on maybe with your wallet or on that particular contract or just whatever's available inside the Ethereum network itself dictates what's going to happen. But signature-based minting allows for some of that what you would call off-chain data, information from another service to influence the ability to mint. Similar to that is another example, which again is linked up in this slide deck, which will be available to you. Third Web has a different example of signature-based minting here, where this is a very simple app, but can be a really powerful one depending on how you want to use it for your community. And this demo checks if the user is a member of your Discord server and allows them to mint an NFT if they are. So the way that I would probably imagine somebody using this is, let's say your project is just starting to get off the ground and maybe you aren't really sure how to get a ton of people into your Discord, which can sort of be the lifeblood of your community at times. One really great way to do this is, let's say you want to offer some kind of an allow list incentive or some kind of an additional benefit or some kind of a VIP status for people that are actually in your Discord and they're engaging in it. You can use signature-based minting in order to set up an app just like Third Web has done, which is going to require people to connect their Discord account. And you can either leave it as simple as, is this person actually in my Discord account? If so, great, let them mint their NFT. Or you can take it multiple steps further and say things like, hey, does this user, have X, Y, or Z role attached to them? Or are they in a given channel inside my Discord? Basically trying to weed out like the difference between an actual engaged user in your community versus maybe like a bot or just somebody that joins the Discord for 2 seconds just to get the thing done. There's all kinds of things that you can do with signature-based minting. Again, the example link will be available with this slide deck after the class. And then finally, before we actually jump into our demo, this is actually a similar example to what we're going to be looking at, which is this is something that basically requires that if you wish to mint onto the contract, you need a special passcode or a VIP code or a coupon code or something like that. So there's an actual like a written check in place at the time of minting, which again I just thought was super cool, and you're actually going to see a sneak peek of that in our demo in just a second. In order to get started today, we have a couple different tools that I'm going to need. Number one is I'm going to need a ThirdWeb account, which is totally free. And ThirdWeb is really going to be my source of creating the contract itself, maintaining my different NFTs that end up on this collection, and really just the overall maintenance of the entire contract itself. You're going to want, if you actually want to publish a website, you're going to want a service like Vercel. I personally recommend Vercel. It's something that makes basically like cloning an existing project and getting started from that super, super easy. You do not need Vercel if you really just wish to play around with this locally and do some local development. Vercel or a comparable service is really only necessary if you actually want to full-on launch a website, just like we did with the Hoop Scouts website. But again, if you wish to use that or even just play around with it, that is also totally free. You will need a GitHub account. GitHub is totally free. And the reason that we want GitHub is because this is basically what's going to allow us to get a starting point on the project. We have the luxury of not needing to build everything from scratch. Basically, what we're going to do today, and the way that we did it for the actual Hoop Scout site, is we took a starting base from ThirdWeb, and we just customized it and tweaked it until it became what we needed, and it became the Hoop Scouts website as we know it today. And you also need a text editor, which is just your, there are many, many free options out there, and that's just going to be your ability to actually view and edit the code. So I'm going to take like a minute break, get set up. We'll allow some questions to roll in, and Stacy's, any comments, any questions, anything going on before we go ahead and demo this?
Yeah, I was just really shocked, I guess, by that Spotify example. I knew there were other use cases for this other than like the Hoop Scouts, but that was such a creative example, and I thought it was so interesting. Like, there's just so many things you could do with it, especially if you had a little bit of coding expertise, or you're using it in conjunction with like your own in-house developer. So that was really exciting.
Yeah, it's really it's one of those things where I knew that basically as soon as I saw it, I knew that I wanted to explore it more deeply and start looking at either the Spotify example or more apt to us trying to find something to do with the Discord example. Haven't gotten there yet because time is a very valuable resource, but yeah, there's just a mountain of different things to explore, and once the realization is there that you can start using common services like Spotify or Discord, and if you know kind of like what an API is and like how that connects with other services, having that realization that you can start using that data to influence how your NFT collection works is just like it's the whole world unlocks to you basically. So yeah, super super cool stuff. We'll go ahead and jump into our actual demo here. Again, if you are just joining us, all of the resources that I'm going to be using, including this slide deck, including all the links to everything, as well as a step-by-step guide on how to do all of this, will be made available after the stream. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a second and I have to set up something on my end real quick. But basically what I'm about to do is get set up so that way I can do a couple things. One of them is going to be actually like cloning the project, which will, again, kind of allow us to start from a really strong starting point. We are not going into this from scratch. We have sort of like a demo website that we can build off of, tweak just a couple different things, and we will be good to go. That's just going to require that I do just a couple things locally. First thing that I'm going to do is actually clone this project. So this is a process that if you have a GitHub account, this is likely familiar to you. Basically, all I'm doing is I am cloning this project, and you can't see it just yet. I will change my screen sharing settings shortly, but I have my terminal window open up, and I am just cloning the project so that way I can get started. And it will just take a second.
It's cool to see how GitHub works. I've been curious about this for a while.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, it's yeah, and that's actually a really handy thing that you just brought up, because this will just take a second while I'm getting my text editor, my code editor all set up. GitHub is a phenomenal resource. It's been around for quite a while, but GitHub, kind of for our example today, and for aspiring developers, it's an incredible jumping off point, because basically, one of its really popular use cases is you can take an existing code base out there and clone it for yourself, which is what we're doing here. And so rather than having to really just start an entire project from scratch, you can basically just say, hey, what did this website do? I want to do that, but I just want to tweak just a couple things to make sure that it, my branding is correct, and that's actually appropriate for my project. And really just get started that way, which is like, it's huge. And what ThirdWeb recently introduced, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks ago or so, is they have a directory on their as part of their website, where it's basically like GitHub, but specifically for smart contracts. And so it's the kind of thing where let's say you are just being an average NFT collector. You find a new project and you go to mint, and maybe that project did something really cool, or there was like really something unique and special about the way that the minting process worked, and maybe you have a lot of interest in recreating that specific contract or that specific minting process. ThirdWeb's directory allows you to do just that, which is like, oh, hey, I don't just want to build a website. I want to launch an entire like smart contract based on that. You can clone that contract and deploy it for yourself, which is just like, it's super cool. And it's tools like that that are really going to fast forward the development process on just Web3 in general. So we're like super excited about that. Um, so I am almost done, chat, and then I promise I will cover everything that I'm doing. I'm just need 1 second here. We are almost ready.
While we're waiting, if anyone is getting any cool ideas for what they would use signature-based minting for, let us know in the chat. I'd love to hear what you are dreaming up, even if you think maybe you don't know how you would make that yet, or if you would have the coding ability. What's swirling around in those little brains of yours, or big brains, I should say.
Bigger brains than ours for sure.
Yeah, I have a tiny pea brain for sure. Ah.
Yes.
Screenshot that. I for some reason I just I don't know. I was really busy last night. I ended up staying up until 9 a.m., which I think is a new record for me for going to bed in the literal next day when people are already at work. So I didn't get very much sleep. But
Yeah.
I love school, even if I'm sleepy. I love learning.
Being there. Not necessarily on loving school part, but the staying up way too late to the point where you're like, what am I doing? I'm completely off schedule with the rest of the world. I am way too familiar with that.
There's a point where I'm up so late that I'm just like, oh, I don't even want to go to sleep because it's like now it's time for the day to start. Maybe I should just stay up forever. Sunny says, I can follow along and learn. I'm good at some stuff, but my computer may not be. So Sunny is needing a computer upgrade, it sounds like.
Well, yeah, I do wish that I could help with that. Unfortunately, that is not part of today's class. Um,
Getting a free computer. Yeah, this isn't Oprah, guys. Come on. Although I wish it was. That'd be pretty fun.
it would be fun.
You get a computer, and you get a computer. Wow, look at this hacker over here.
I'm hacking into the mainframe right now.
Oh no, he's gonna get all your wallets. Run!
Okay. So, oops. So forgive me. I'm doing the best I can here. Um, so let me just explain real quick what we are looking at. So after, I don't know, 30 seconds or so, I was able to, let's actually go back here. I was able to come in, clone the signature-based minting example, the demo website, and bring that local to my computer. And so there's just a couple short prompts that you can put into like your terminal to make all of that happen. I also have my text editor, my code editor basically. And so what I'm doing is I'm looking at the code base that makes this project work. For anybody looking at this, this is not actually my wallet private key.
Dang it!
Yeah, nice try. That would be the worst luck ever if that was actually my private key.
Ghost
It
Cat says,
is.
please don't exit scam us, right?
Yeah, I think too many people know who I am at this point to be able to do that. um, and yeah, so if you are getting set up with this, one of the things that you will need to make sure that all of your development works properly is that you do have the private key associated with your wallet. And as you can imagine, it is of utmost importance that you are not sharing the actual private key. So, luckily, if you are just starting to get into development and you are trying to follow along with this, and you are concerned or you're curious, rather, like uh, how are you able to actually use that private key but not expose it? There are things in place that are set up where, like, uh, I don't know, the project comes with the proper things that are going to, if you actually publish this to a live website, this repo is already set up to do things like make sure that it's not actually exposing, any sensitive information. So if you have no idea what you're looking at the moment, that's totally fine. But for anybody that is familiar with Git and what a git ignore file is, the repo is set up with that protection in mind. So really, what I have here after cloning the demo project is I have a couple different folders of all of my different all the different aspects of the site. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here. You really don't have to worry about much of this. You really just need to update just a couple of things, and I'm going to show you what they are. First, before we actually update any code, what I'm going to do is run a quick command called yarn dev.
Any
And what this is,
knitters? Oh, I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah, would love an actual yarn enthusiast to show up. So what that does is it provides you, if you are, if you're ever wondering like what the coding experience looks like for somebody, or if they are, if you're getting set up with local development for the first time, this is basically what allows you to, actually like take a look at, building the website, make your code changes, and it's all just on your local machine. You're not actually, uh, I'm not working with like a live website per se. So I just have the local version of whatever's in my code editor available here. And basically, this is going to be what your demo, your starting base starts off with. So Third Web has this really great template here for you, and it's got a couple really familiar things. Like it's got the connect wallet button, which might look familiar if you are familiar with the Hoop Scout site. And it makes it super nice, nice and easy. And basically, what this starting example is it's using signature-based minting, and this has a passcode system to it, basically, where the requirement here, in order to actually mint into this collection, is that you are minting an animal, an NFT of an animal, and it has an animal name. So it's the kind of thing where, if I came in here and just said, hey, this is this, picture of this really cool, like, this picture of this beach that I painted, and, I'm going to call it beach party. I don't know. And I went with that, and I went to mint it. It's going to give me an error message and basically say, hey, we don't recognize beach party as an animal, so you are not able to mint onto this collection. But if I choose something like rat or bunny, it would allow me to do that. to give you a look at how that works or where you might edit this. If you are starting again with this, the demo website as your base, there's a file in here called animal names. And so all it's really doing is anytime that somebody goes to mint, it's going to run run your list against all of the different animal names that it has here. And so, like I just used Bunny off the top of my head as an example. Bunny's not actually on this list, so it would not go through. Now, the chances that you're actually trying to set up something with an animal name passcode are probably pretty small. But the reason that I'm showing you this is, let's use a more practical example where, maybe you have a very limited entry type situation, and in order to keep this protected, instead of different animal names that you're using, maybe you want to use, I don't know, coupon codes. And so what if instead, you just had a list of random coupon codes that you have in here, and maybe you just give these out to specific members of your community that you trust. All you have to do is just update this file and make sure that the person that you're giving it to is going to use this specific code, and you can do it that way. Or maybe you just have a special VIP, promotional period where it's, I don't know, for 10 days only, people using this code can come to your website and actually mint onto or from the contract. So just a couple examples of things that you can use. And again, I show you this just to show you that if you're willing to spend just a few minutes poking around at some of the things, or if you read the instructions on GitHub, chances are you can find your way into some really creative ways that you can make this your own. That's really what I did with the Hoop Scouts project. Again, I'm what I would call an aspiring developer. I am not an expert by any means, but I do enjoy sort of playing around with things until I understand them, or I know how to make changes that fit my goal. And truthfully, like if I can do that, anybody can do that, because I am I am certainly not a developer. So the final part of this is other NFTs in this collection. And right now we don't actually have a collection created for this, and so there's nothing to display here. So the final steps that I'm going to show you here are we are going to very quickly create a collection. We're going to modify just a little bit of the text on this page, and then we're actually going to mint something, and I'll show you how that works. So let's do this. Let's go to thirdweb.com, and I'm just going to create a brand new collection. The collection that I need is, or the contract that I need rather, is known as just NFT collection. In the last example for Bunny U class number 1, we did what's called an NFT drop. And that's the kind of thing where you are preloading your drop, and people can come to your website and claim some of those tokens. What we want is an NFT collection. We don't want a claiming widget on our website. We just want to make sure that a given collection exists. So we can say this is Bunny U class number 2. I'm just going to go through this quickly. And we'll throw a royalty on there just for fun. I'm launching this on Mumbai. It is a test network uh, on Polygon. Third Web's awesome with that stuff because they give you the ability to not just launch on the mainnet for a number of different chains, but they also give you the test network, so that way it doesn't actually have to cost you anything to deploy anything, and you can sort of mess around and test things out without actually spending any money. And because I need to add some sensitive information for my development real quick, I'm just going to pause my presenting for just 2 seconds until this gets deployed. We'll pause for any questions or comments or remarks. And I'm going to do this so that way nobody steals my actual private key, and then we can resume.
Yeah, Rat has a lot of good NFTs we would want to get, guys. So keep your eyes open if he slips up here. And yeah. Any questions so far? I see Sunny Days talking about the knitting dev. Love it.
Yeah, the only person I'm really concerned about that is I know Miss was talking about getting at my my crowned honey, and that is one of my most prized possessions. And if that ever gets into her hands, I will know how it happened, chat. So please keep me safe.
Yeah, we'll know exactly who to point the finger at. I think so far this has been pretty straightforward, which is great. That's kind of what I love about Third Web. It's just so user friendly.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree. Um, okay. So, uh, here's what's super nice about this. Um, and I know that I'm doing a lot of talking as I'm explaining this, but I hope that you can see that like the actual steps to accomplish this are actually very small, and I'm about to show you why you don't even need to be intimidated by the code section. Um, so I've just created this collection here, um, and this is currently my website that I have. Basically, what I need to do is I need a way to tell tell my website, tell my code base, which NFT collection that it needs to show down here. So I just created this in Third Web, and I'm just going to copy that address, and the code base is set up in such a nice way that it's not like you have to go around and plug this into a whole bunch of different spots. There's something called an environment variable where I can basically just say, hey, here's my address. I just need to put it in there one time, and all of the other relevant pages on here are going to look at that, and anytime that I'm adding something new, it's going to know, okay, well, this is the collection in question here. So let's see. So now I have my website. I have a spot here where I can mint my own NFT into the collection. I have a name field. I have a spot where I can drag and drop an image, a mint button, and then there is this section down here, which is currently empty, which shows other NFTs in this collection. Because I didn't edit anything, it's still going to look for an animal name when I go to mint this. So let's actually try this as an example. I'm going to use my really, really super creative example earlier of beach party. And let's just grab a random NFT that just happens to be right there on my computer. And I'm going to hit mint.
It's me.
And not one of the animals we know. So, you know, something here clearly has to change. So if I were to change this and say, actually, that's not a beach party, that is a, what do we think?
It's a bunny beach
What
party.
what animal would you like to be, Stacey's?
Oh, is bunny an option?
Let's make it an option.
Okay.
So I'm going to make a very simple code edit there and add in bunny as part of the list. And let's try it. Let's see if it accepts bunny. Might need to refresh.
Yahoo! I'm gonna be an NFT.
And give it a second. Yeah, let me try to refresh real quick because I made a change. So let's try one more time with bunny as the name. And I am waiting for my wallet to come up.
I made a difficult chat. That's what I'm here for on these streams. Just to challenge Rat. Bum, 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 bum.
And let's see. It is definitely possible that I missed something small. I think I needed to, yeah, I think we should be good now. Because I changed environment variables. I should need to rerun my development setup. Let's see. These are always the joys of demoing tech live.
Yeah, I got a bug shoot live.
Exactly. Can prepare 1,000 times ahead of time. Let's see.
Looking at code editors is so satisfying. The way they color code different like variables and different functions.
Yeah, totally.
So it's color harmony on a page. I approve.
Yes, it is. What is not very harmonious is whatever we have going on here, which is I'm getting my error message, but I must be missing something when it goes to actually mint. So let me see.
You're watching live problem solving by Rat. That's a lot of red. That's how you know you're in trouble. Bum, bum, bum. So chat, Rat is troubleshooting this problem, I guess I'll just talk about how we launched a really big Halloween merch drop today, which I was really excited about. There's some items in there that are like my personal favorites that we've dropped so far. So definitely, like, if you haven't checked it out, just go give it a quick look on the Etsy shop, which is linked on pretty much everywhere. You can find it on my Twitter. You can find it on the Honeys Twitter. You can find it on the Honeys Discord under the links section. But we made about, I think it was like almost 25 items for the Halloween drop, because I just love Halloween. It's such a good season. It's so fun, and you can drink cider and wear sweaters and turn on the fireplace. I just love fall so much. And then we're going to be putting up the t-shirt contest winners very soon too. I am currently working with them to make sure that the t-shirts are looking how they want them to look. So that is going to be super fun. I can't wait to get those in the shop. This is kind of going to be our first time that we are putting like a collab item almost in the shop. You like the Ouija one, Sunny? That's awesome. Did you like, which was your favorite item out of the Ouija set? There was a hoodie, a t-shirt, and the all-day jammies, I think. I personally ordered all the, let me see. I ordered the chibi set. I'll show you guys. Bum 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 ba-dum bum bum ba-dum-dum-dum. I'm gonna add another window capture. We'll overtake Rat. And we'll just look through the shop together and have a good time. Relax. Do literal window shopping in a browser window. Oh, Alice.
Yeah, or claim that Poe app.
Or claim that Poe app.
This is a great time to claim the Poe app.
Yeah, go get your Poe apps at the bottom of the screen there. I'll make sure not to cover the link. Okay, so I got this one. I love a good crop top, but a long sleeve crop top, fam, that's just a little crazy, because that's the greatest thing in my opinion. And then I got this, which I love because I don't know, I thought the chibi pattern that I made was really cute in like black, but it looks best on white, right? But like I cannot wear white clothes. I get it so dirty. So I felt like this was a good compromise because because the sleeves are black, and that's the part that you're going to probably most get dirty, and then like half of the middle is black. So you're like shielding yourself. And then I got these to wear with it. So I think it's going to be like a super just cute, like it's going to look like a fit basically. I also really like this. I want to get one of these. Just I kind of made it as like a lazy Halloween costume. But I kind of just want to wear it like at all times. Because I am so obsessed with Sailor Moon stuff. Wait, you can click it. Wait, what are you guys talking about? You want to get the police jammies because you work at a police station? That's so cool, Sunny. I didn't know that. What do you do at the police station? Oh, yeah. Are you guys talking about for the Poe app? I can post the link. Hold on. I'll just type
Oh,
it.
is it not working?
Oh, I think it's working. We were just talking about typing it versus copy pasting it. If you're claiming the POAP, it is case sensitive, so just be aware of that. But I'm gonna type it. I'm gonna type it so y'all don't have to type it. Funny you POAP 2. Da 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 da. Okay, here it is. Here is the POAP. You're a police maid for 15 years. That is such a cool job. Like, I guess I didn't even think about that. But I guess everybody really needs cleaning help. There's the Google Doc for the POAP. And here is the link to Etsy if you want to look with me. I made this logo just for Halloween, and I kind of like it. I want it to be our permanent logo, I think. Because there's a little chibi head on it. Is anybody doing anything fun for Halloween? I'll tell you the most fun Halloween maybe that I ever had. Now that I'm older, I went through a phase of my life where I like loved Halloween, but I didn't know what to do for Halloween. And I was always sad because I wasn't like, I'm not really much of a partier. I don't like to go to like bars and clubs and stuff like that. So I didn't really know what to do for Halloween for a long time. But when we moved here to Nebraska, they have like a really, really cute pumpkin patch that puts on like this massive Halloween event every year. And they like, you go in and it's this huge piece of farmland, but they have all these little buildings on it that they like decorate, and they have different like food places with festive food, and they have like little shops, and they have little shows that they put on, and it's the cutest thing ever. So now every year I really look forward to going to that. They are pigs. Yeah, because Gamer Queen Jelly has a flying pig tattoo sleeve. So I was like, oh, let me put the tattoo sleeve on the shirt. That'd be cute. But one year when I was like living back in Canada and I was younger, we went to like, there was like this big park that was really near a cemetery, and you could kind of drive through, and there was kind of like places to park that were kind of like near the cemetery, but not like in the cemetery. And so we went there, and it was really spooky because this whole like park area was like shrouded in big trees, and it was super like fall themed, so all the trees were dead and the leaves were like falling off, and it was nighttime, and like the sun was going down. It was super spooky. So we went there in a van. We took my mom's van. It was me and my boyfriend at the time, and we just watched like horror movies on a laptop in the back of the van, but like near the cemetery in this really creepy like park. And it was so fun. We brought snacks and stuff, and it was like really creepy. And every time there was a sound, we were like, oh my God, what is that? But it was like a really fun way to do Halloween. Although, yeah, like in Canada, to be honest, there wasn't that much. Where I was from, they had a little like haunted house at the ski slope there. There's a pretty famous ski slope where I'm from because they held the Olympics there one year. It was in Calgary, Alberta. So they have like an event that they put on there every year, and I went once, but it's not like, it was really small and not that good. And the problem with celebrating Halloween in Canada is that it's always like snowing by the time it's Halloween, so it's cold and you can't like wear your costume really because you need to wear a jacket. But I'm finding now, like living in the US, there is so many more options for Halloween. Like there's so many really big famous like haunted houses, and people do huge events. So I'm absolutely loving it. I'm kind of obsessed I really want to go to like a haunted house, but Dubio really doesn't like scary things. So I'm like, maybe I need to go by myself or actually like make some friends here or something. But I really just want to go try one and like see how it is. And I don't know. I'm kind of obsessed with like have you ever heard of McCamey Manor? Let me know if you have in the chat. There's Sunny said there's a Halloween car wash. Lots of fun. It's all spooky inside with creatures popping onto your car. Oh my gosh, that sounds so cute. I actually love car washes. There's this really like crappy car wash by our house that I'm in love with it because of how bad it is almost. Like there's lots of like really expensive like fancy car washes around here, but this one is like super small, but they will like go out of their way to put up like giant cardboard cutouts to like celebrate like different themes. Like they have giant dinosaur ones that they'll put up and then they'll make it like jungle themed. And the inside of it has these like really, really creepy dolls that like flip around on trapezes. I don't even know how to describe it until you see it, but it's like it's just got so much character that I love going there over like the fancy places. Leo said Halloween is so favored in the US. I heard this year that they're waiting until after Halloween for daylight savings so the kids can still trick or treat while it's light out. That's a kind of a good idea, yeah. I still don't know why we have daylight savings. I think it's an energy conservation thing, like almost to adjust the day so that there's more daylight so that like we globally use less energy. I don't know if that's true. Maybe I'm just making that up, but I think that's why. Why do they gotta save so much daylight? Yeah. It gets dark so early. I guess that's true. Sometimes when it's daylight savings, it just gets darker, like, sooner. I really don't know. Let's look it up. What's the point of daylight savings? The main purpose of daylight savings time is to make better use of the daylight. Okay, well, I guess I was kind of right. But isn't that weird, guys? Doesn't it seem like it actually makes worse use of the daylight? Department of Transportation says daylight savings time conserves energy, prevents traffic accidents, and reduces crime. Oh, that's a good point. I never really thought of those implications because it is harder to drive at night and also more crime happens when it's dark, right? That's pretty interesting. Yeah, it is a little confusing when only some people participate. Time zones are hard enough as it is. How's it going for you, Rat? How's your problem solving?
I think we are all set. Just got it.
Wow. Very impressive.
So I think, although it didn't make for the best television, and I apologize, what I will say is I don't think that it was anything I did. It was more just, it seemed like there was like a network problem or something on Mumbai, on the test network.
Oh.
We are all good.
Nice.
So let's give this a shot now.
Great. Yeah, that's okay. I love talking chat about Halloween, so we're good.
Yeah. No, I was a little jealous, and I also, Dubio, if you're listening, I relate entirely. Let's while Stacy's goes do stupid scary things, I will hang out with you and we'll watch Dumb and Dumber together.
I laughed so hard when you said that you didn't like scary movies and you were talking about it because that's exactly how he is. He like, if I'm like want to go watch a scary movie in the theater, he kind of has to like gauge if it's like too scary because he's just not gonna have a good time.
There's like this moment threshold for me where it's like, because I've been in situations where it's like, and this is years ago. I no longer have friends chat. I don't actually see the world. But years ago in a past life when I had friends and hung out at people's houses, I was brought into situations where I would need to, actually watch movies or scary movies. And there's like this point where it's like, if I know that the movie is going to be so bad or like just so poorly done, that like I can like sit there and like laugh at it, uh, and like I'll be fine with that. But like I don't know, any like actually properly scary movie out there, I have not seen it, or if I did, it was very much against my will. Uh, I saw the movie The Ring when I was like 12, and I think that was the last scary movie that I willingly watched.
Yeah,
Um,
that's understandable. I mean, seeing imagery like that can be very scary and it can really affect people. So I definitely don't judge people who don't like that kind of thing. It makes total sense.
so we are back here. So just to recap, what we did was we have sort of like our list of acceptable names for the NFT. We added Bunny on here at Stacy's request, and I'm going to add Bunny into this collection. You can see currently this space down here is still empty because there are no NFTs on this collection. And I'm going to hit Mint. And there we go. There is MetaMask ready to go. You can even, there's even a little thing right here. If you can see it properly, I'm not sure if you can, but it says Mint with signature right here underneath the website that I'm at. So this will just further confirm for you what kind of minting that you're doing. And to be clear about what that is, it's the signature is really like us saying, okay, we are making this check to see if the name or the passcode that the person's using is on the list. It looks like it has. It looks like it is. And so, because we did that check, we are providing the end user with something called a signature, which is basically like a stamp of approval in that moment. Um, so, it's not an endless pass to just mint whatever I want. It's in the moment of minting, did I pass the check? So I hit confirm and we'll let this run, hoping that there's no additional error message at this point, but I think we should be good. And just got to give it a second. And there we go. So I got my message here at the top. Successfully minted NFT with signature. And now it even shows up down here at the bottom. And if I now come into Third Web, looks like I used the wrong image file, of course. Just that kind of day, but you can see that the NFT was added. It's confirming this for me in Third Web itself, where I get to see all my different NFTs, and it's also going to show here in this collection. This is something we had done sort of at the start of Hoop Scouts, where if you remember, there was a point where you could actually go to the Hoop Scouts site and there would have been just a running list of all the different pieces that were in this collection. But because Hoop Scouts was so widely loved, the page was actually just getting so long that we ended up we now just redirect it right to OpenSea. But yeah, so again, so the way that this works is it's checking for the different conditions that we have in place. And this is kind of, this is how really we got started with Hoop Scouts. We've since evolved well beyond just this demo kit. But when we very, very first got started, and we didn't have anything that checked to see if you were a holder or not, what we did was I actually used this page in here in the code. And what I would do is we had a manual approval process, and as long as somebody's submission looked like it was going to be okay, I basically came in here. I made up just a random password, gave it to that person, and let them mint using that password with the special field. So that was like how we actually got started. And then beyond that, we've since made it easier, and that was just a temporary part of the process. But you can absolutely do that kind of thing for your website, your community, whatever you're interested in doing. If you wish to remove some of these different checks, if you really don't have any kind of a system that comes to mind that, this sort of like a password system makes sense to you, and maybe you just want to forego all of these different checks entirely, but continue the actual like community aspect of this, there's a file in here where it's actually doing all of these different checks. And basically all you have to do is you can either comment these out or you can just remove them. Check number 1 is making sure that it's actually on the animal name. And check number 2, the way that this demo is set up is that you can only mint one NFT per wallet. So I can just remove that one as well, just as we did for Hoop Scouts. And basically now there's no more checks in place, and I can just say, hey, whoever's coming to my website, they can mint with whatever name that they want, whatever image that they want, and mint into the collection. So it becomes like really like easily powerful to be able to manipulate this the way that you want. If you're looking at this and going, I'm not a developer, this seems complicated, I don't like touching code, I won't even know where to get started, I can promise you that I was in the exact same boat. I'm not what I would call an experienced developer. I'm persistent enough that I'm curious enough to try and mess around with things, and I'm willing to read the directions and tips and stuff on the actual GitHub page, and really like Third Web gives you such a good starting base that I promise you can do this. And if you are still not getting anywhere, if you're just not interested in touching the code, it's not your thing, people like myself are here. We have additional developers in the Honeys community. We can either help answer questions, or if you want to set up like a short-term contract work or whatever, if you just need me to help you set up your collection and just get it off the ground for you, and you can take care of everything else, you can always talk to me and we can set something like that up as well. Probably the final thing that I'm going to show is just how easy it is to actually change some of the language on the page, so that way you can basically take a project from scratch like this and really make it your own. So if I go into my code editor, my home page here is known as the index page. And so if I want to edit any of the text on here, I can pull up the index file and I can just look for the actual text that's on here. So like if I wanted to change this title, I can just do a quick search for the term signature-based minting, and I can just change this to say, hi YouTube, hi Twitch, save that, and you can see it edits right away. It's really easy to just if you're trying to figure out where something is inside the code, more often than not, you can just simply copy it, do a search inside the code, and you can find it, swap out the text, hit save, and it will update for you on the page. So you can always update the text here. In fact, because we removed the animal name requirement, I'm just going to go ahead and remove that paragraph entirely. And so that way it no longer exists right here. And I can also have some fun messing around with the styling. So I can come in here into the styles page, and I can just say, hey, instead of my background being black, I want it to be this variable here, the third web color number 1, and I can save that, and all of a sudden the background is updated. So it can become your own project really, really quickly. And it's really not that hard, especially if you have like a little bit of guidance available to you, which you always do, to just go ahead and start messing around with it. Make a page that you like, make a page that you're happy with. Pretty much everything that you're going to do on here is free, especially if you are just messing around on like a test network like Polygon Mumbai, like I'm doing. Third Web is entirely free, minus the cost of gas at the time of deploying your contract. Again, not if you're using a test network. The code editors are free. A GitHub account is free, and even a service like Vercel, which is what we use in order to maintain and make updates to the Hoop Scout site. That service is free. These are really, 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 really super powerful tools, and there's like no excuse to not mess around with them. So whether you're using signature-based minting to actually kind of recreate Hoop Scouts, just in the way that Honeys did, or if you are interested in taking a look at any of the other examples of signature-based minting that we've looked at, like the Spotify example or the Discord example, chances are whatever you're trying to do is either entirely free or will cost you maybe a few dollars at worst. It's not like this is some very big expensive venture, and you really, really need to be prepared in order to actually start working on it. Like, all these tools are super available to you. There are YouTube videos out there. We're going to end up having like a 3 to 5 minute YouTube video on this process as well in the very near future. And yeah, like I really hope that you take advantage of these tools, especially just because you have the additional benefit of people like myself who have actually gone through the process and stood it up themselves. So yeah, I apologize for the minor blip that we had while the network was having issues, but other than that, I think that pretty much covers it. I'll take a minute here to pause for questions, comments, reactions, anything like that, and then I will wrap up with all the resources that are going to be available to you shortly after we end this class. So either Stacy's or chat, any comments, questions, things that I didn't do well enough that I can fix now for you. What'd you think?
Yeah, that was really great. I really love that it was okay, let me say this. I'm really passionate about like low cost solutions like this. And the reason, if you guys didn't know this about me, but I started my NFT projects and honeys with virtually $0. I think I maybe had $40 in crypto to pay the gas fee to mint for the first time, and that was pretty much all I spent. When I did the honeys project, we made a deal with our developers where we would each just get a percentage of the profits, and we would go into it together hoping that it would do well, and our efforts and labor would pay off. And I'm a big proponent of trying, when you're getting like your business or just things off the ground at first, trying to do as much as you can yourself. And obviously there is a limit to that, but I think people underestimate what they can do on their own. And what I see happen a lot is people come into this space and they spend a ton of money, hiring developers, hiring designers, hiring artists, and all of a sudden you're 30 grand or whatever in the hole trying to get this project off the ground. And you kind of missed on the opportunity to experience what it's like to build that stuff yourself, and it gives you a disadvantage, I think, of trying to get really involved with the space. So the fact that places are putting out free tools to do this stuff now, because I think in this current market, if I had to find a developer to just kind of YOLO half go in on this with me and hope it works out, I don't know if I'd be able to, honestly. I don't know if anyone would want to put in that time and effort just to hope when the market is down like this. But what this is showing you is that you don't have to. You can do these projects on your own, and if you're passionate about it and you want to try to see, if you can start your own business or start your own project or just even do something for fun to learn on your own, you can totally do that. And I always try to recommend that to people over spending a lot of your hard-earned money and savings testing this stuff out for the first time. You just don't need to. And so that's what I love about this tutorial, Rat. Thank you so much for being such a great teacher as always. We really appreciate you doing these.
Yeah, and I'm thrilled to be able to do it, and I think you made some excellent comments there just about, like just the difference between this time last year in getting started with the project and this time, where we currently are, because that's the joy of open source technology, is things tend to get easier to accomplish. They tend to get more complex and exciting, but also the cost of things comes down, and we're really at a point now where it's like, between all of these different great services that we have available to us, there's almost no excuse at all to not get started. So it's really fun. If you don't mind, if you could pull up my screen share for just 2 more minutes, I'm just going to run through this document just to let everybody know what resources are available, and then we can close things out.
Absolutely.
Cool. So this document, just like the first class, is going to be available right after we end our stream here. And basically what this is going to do, just like the last document, is give you a brief summary of what we covered. It's going to have a take-home assignment for you with a checklist. It's pretty minimal. Some of the steps on here are optional. It really just wants to make sure that you were able to stand up something, whether it's you're keeping it totally local to yourself or you're actually deploying a full-on website. So it's going to give you just some step-by-step things to check off. Also kind of functions as a step-by-step how-to guide here. Upon completing the assessment, if you let either Stacy's or myself know that you've done that, we will get you a certificate certifying that you are proficient in setting up a signature-based minting collection, which is a really cool thing to be able to add to your resume and your portfolio at a time where really, like, even still, like, Hoop Scouts is like 2.5 months old at this point, and I really don't see many people exploring either with a community collection or signature based minting at all. Um, so it's the
That's
kind of thing that you can, if you have a certificate, some kind of an example that you can show to other people, that, hey, how to do this. It can be a really powerful thing to team up with somebody or take on some freelance work. And we really hope that this is worth your while and not just like some fun, mindless experiment that you can run. And then at the bottom of this document, all of the different resources that you have or that you would need rather to get started and get this thing built are going to be here. So we'll have a recording of the class, um, some documentation on just like what is signature based minting, some examples if you just want to play around with them and explore. Like I included the Spotify example here. And then links to all of the different tools that you need. And again, you can do this entirely for free. So you have Third Web here for your actual contract creation, a guide on getting set up with development on your computer, the starting point, which is the called a repository, really just the code base that we ended up cloning as like our starting point. Uh, and then the site deployment and your text editor. So all of the information that you need here is on this doc. I'll share it in Discord immediately after we cut stream, and yeah, I think that will do it finally. So yeah, thank you, Stacey's, for being an excellent co-host, and thanks, chat, for your interest. And I really can't wait to see what people do with this project, just like the last one.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rat. You are so great at explaining this stuff. And as always, chat, we will be in the Discord. We never leave there, we're in there all the time. So if you have questions while you're running through this or you just need help on something, do not hesitate to hit us up. And by us, I mean Rat Benatar. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I am volunteering to be your fountain of knowledge and information, and my fountain of youth. You keep me young and love and life, Rat. I don't know where I'm going with this. Anyways, that's a sign that it is time to end the evening on a beautiful, positive note. So thank you all for joining us. And we cannot wait to see what you make with this newest Bunny U class.
Thank you, chat. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye,
Thank you, Stacey.
cupcakes. Bong, bong, bong. Bye, bye, bye.